preparing the live stream. Let's see how this works. Done.
Fantastic.
Yep, we are on preparing the live stream. Let's see how this works. Done. All right, I'll turn that off because that will mess with me.
Yes, it will. And you can record this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the video too, because I want to be able to touch up my hair and makeup if I need.
Yeah, it will be on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's live on YouTube right now.
All right, good, cool.
So what's going on? Sunday. You're live.
Yeah. So there's a great new episode of My Neighbors Across the Way
Okay.
that we need to discuss. So you know how I've been telling you that what I'm not really interested in binge watching anything on Netflix or Prime anymore because I feel like I've seen everything. It's just nothing new that I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's more interesting to watch My Neighbors Across the Way. So we've gotten pretty busy, so we've kind of let the show lag. But last night we were doing laundry and my boyfriend looked out the window. He's like, "Oh my God, they're about to have sex." So of course we both went flying to the windows because so far my neighbors have been really boring. Like we saw that one drag queen trying on bras and we were like, okay, that where's this going? And he was just or she was just trying on bras and then like sat down to watch television. Boring.
Mhm.
So there's a couple across the way. We've been keeping an eye on them. They don't seem to be getting along. We saw them have like a little tiff out on the balcony the other night. So I guess they're trying to repair the relationship. I don't know if they went to therapy or what they decided to do, but the therapist said to them, listen, you guys got to start having sex again. So she stayed in her nightie, which wasn't like a sexy lingerie nightie. It was more like what your grandma wears. It was
Mhm.
sleeveless. It was like a baby doll thing, but it was like, I don't know, it was like a house coat kind of nightie. It wasn't sexy. But maybe that's what he's into. We don't know.
Mhm.
So he's laying on the bed naked. We could see. And she is attempting to pleasure him, let's put it that way. But it seems like we couldn't obviously we didn't know exactly what was going on. Either she didn't do it well or she did it too well or he wasn't that interested or he's got his own issues
Right.
because it seemed like they were having trouble. It seemed like maybe perhaps he was having trouble getting into it. Do you know what I mean?
He didn't join. He didn't show up for the party.
He did not show up. He did not salute her when she when she showed up to do her job.
Right.
Yeah. When she was doing her job, he didn't seem to be interested. Um
She
so
failed at her job, is
yeah,
what you're saying.
well, or he has the issue. We couldn't tell, but you could see she kept trying to start up all over again. And then she'd stop and they'd talk for a minute. And then she'd try again. And then they would talk for a minute. And then finally, she just stormed out of the room. She storms out
Mm.
and she goes into the living room and sits down on the couch and then comes back in the bedroom. I guess said something else to him like, I can't believe this, or screw you, or who you sleeping with? Who knows what she said to him? But she comes storming in, said something, stormed right back out, went back to the living room. So he gets up, he puts on underwear, and my boyfriend said, watch, he's going to take the dog out for a walk. He just has to get away from her.
Right.
So sure enough, he goes and grabs the leash and he gets the dog and he goes out for a walk. So now we're like, okay, great. Now we got to, but we could see their front door to their building. So now we're watching the front door because we're like, is he pissed? Is he just going for a walk with the dog? Is he walking away?
Is he
So he,
going to the neighbors? Is he going to his girlfriend? Is another guy going to show up? What's going on?
well, right. That's what we were thinking. Like, where's he going? So men in this neighborhood, when they're sexually frustrated, she went right to the phone, by the way. She called her gay best friends and she was like, you are never going to believe this.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the phone on the couch yapping away. He went out for ice cream.
Like real ice cream, not a metaphor.
No, like he went to actually buy ice cream. We thought, like, is he going for ice cream and never coming back? But no, he obviously went for. There's a store around here that everybody goes to get ice cream
Mm-hmm.
at like this was like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. So clearly he went for ice cream. The sexual frustration, you know what I mean? Like you're sexually frustrated, you need something. So he went and got himself some Haagen Dazs.
Well, he wasn't actually sexually frustrated because he didn't show up. He just wanted ice cream. That's the only thing that was on his mind the whole time. You know, A, she's not looking very sexy because she looks like your Aunt Frida. And B, in the back of his mind, he saw a commercial about ice cream, and that's all he wants is ice cream.
Yeah, the whole thing was so weird because we were like, is she not doing it well? Is he having trouble? Is it the fact that there's so much tension in their marriage or their relationship at this point? I don't think they're married. They look like they're like 32.
Hmm.
But is there so much tension in their relationship at this point that like they're just not having a good sex life? Like we can't figure it out. And today, we of course immediately my boyfriend was like, find the binoculars. Let's see what they're up to. Close the shades.
Oh no.
So we
So
don't even
now
know.
they're
Yeah.
there. They're at the close the shades part.
Yeah, yeah. He went out in the balcony for a cigarette, but she didn't go with him. So he looked pissed because he was like, he wasn't smoking like, ooh, what a good day. He was like angry smoking,
Mhm.
like
Well,
pacing and smoking.
I don't think she's good at her job, because if she was good at her job, he would have came to the job too. So I don't think I think she needs more practice. Maybe she needs to go somewhere and practice for that job and then
I
come back to work.
I don't blame her. I blame him. I think he's the one that's having trouble. I think there's all these things that he can't talk about. So they're not as close as they were. And she's thinking, well, if we have sex, maybe that'll get us. Like men just want to have sex and maybe they'll talk afterwards. Women think if we have sex, we'll get you to talk afterwards. Like
Mhm.
that'll repair our relationship. Like let's have sex and then, we can bond after.
No,
But
no, I want you to leave after. We're not bonding. You must turn into ice cream. If you don't turn into ice cream, I'm leaving and going to get ice cream.
listen, he's the one that couldn't get it up. I mean, just shut your eyes and fantasize about some girl you saw on the street. Like, it's not that hard. I mean, no pun intended. No pun intended. But I'm just saying, like, your girlfriend is willing to think of all the women out there that like just won't do it. Like your girlfriend is willing to do it. And she
Mhm.
and she I'm telling you, she didn't just like give it a try and go, screw this. She was at it for a while. Even since my boyfriend, I'm like, so is this a situation where it's just this, or are they gonna go to sex next? Or like this has taken a long time. So I thought either she's really good at it or she's really terrible at it. But we realized it's because he wasn't doing his job.
Well, the problem is some women aren't very good at their jobs. You work with people that should never have had the job. So
Yeah.
she probably shouldn't have had the job. And she's just not good at it.
Yeah,
So
she
you
didn't have
got to
that
put out applications.
yeah, she didn't have that friend that I had in college that picked up a banana and was like, "Let me show you girls a little something I learned from my older sister."
Right.
Like we all had the banana or cucumber lesson in college. Like we all had that friend that was like, "Let me show you a little something. Okay, so here's the cucumber and here's the banana, but look underneath here. A couple of grapes. Let me show you this."
The bad thing is every one of you women think you're the greatest at it, and you're not. I'm going to tell you 1% of you are good at it. 99% of you shouldn't even do it.
Then we're happy to not do it. Believe me, there's only a few women out there that actually enjoy it. A lot of women do it because we know you enjoy it. So if you're going to criticize us, forget it. Like that's over for you.
And some are so bad, that's fine. I'm not missing anything. Trust me. I know where that guy's coming. I've never been in that guy's shoes, but I
Right.
can understand what it's like to be in that shoe.
Yeah, but again, maybe, who knows? Maybe he's in the closet and he's just not into it because she's a woman, they're at that age where they're kind
Could
of
be.
figuring out their lives. And remember also, they're stuck with each other because it's quarantine here in New York City. So
Mhm.
they're in lockdown. It's not like he can go out and, just date other women or men, whatever he's into. They're
Mm.
just kind of stuck with each other. So he spent the night going out for ice cream. She spent the night on the couch crying, which for us here, that's just a regular night.
Good. All right. What did I find? I found some stuff.
Oh, okay. I sent you some audio.
I didn't even see it.
Oh, yeah, I
When did
sent
you
it
send
to
it?
you, I don't know, like, maybe an hour ago,
Oh,
in the past hour or so.
I like the one guy, this guy who who believes in leprechauns.
Leprechauns are spirits. I visit them under the mountain each day to check them out. I've been up there every day. I haven't broken the restrictions.
Okay, so he believes in them. He talks to them every single day. They're spirits. They're not real little people leprechaun things like you see in the movies, but they're spirits.
Which
I
means
communicate
they could be
them
here right
through an
now.
out-of-body experience. I don't want to go deeply into that, but it's an out-of-body experience. Everyone knows what I mean, and I can transfer my spirit up there.
Does your wife believe in leprechauns?
No.
See,
Oh,
see, you can never marry a woman that believes in leprechauns too.
you know that that's a conversation that they have all the time. Like he's leaving, and the friends are like, "Is he cheating on you? Where's he going?" Nah, he's gonna hang out with the leprechauns.
Right. He's going to go talk to the leprechauns because they talk to him back, but the wife, she doesn't believe it.
My favorite thing is that he's obviously Irish.
You,
You know,
right.
so leprechauns in Ireland would make the most sense. You know, it's one thing if he was like if this story was in Florida, I'd be like, wait a minute, but he is in Ireland, so maybe he knows something we don't know.
But can a relationship last if one believes in leprechauns really, really, really well, like really believes in leprechauns, and the other
Mhm.
one doesn't? Can a relationship last?
It depends how important leprechaun belief is to you. You know, if your leprechaun belief is so that you go to leprechaun church 3 times a week or
Mhm.
you go visit your leprechaun several times a week and your spouse doesn't, it's going to be an issue for you. It'll be more of an issue for the leprechaun believing spouse than for the non-leprechaun believing spouse.
Well, what about the leprechauns? Where do they come in?
I don't think they have a say in this.
I think they do. I mean, they're real. I've seen Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, and 4, Leprechaun from the Hood. So I've seen all 4 of them. And so I believe.
What for? What are you talking about?
Leprechaun 4. Leprechaun
Oh,
1,
the movie.
2, 3, and 4. Leprechaun from the Hood is number 4
I see.
with Snoop Dogg in it. So you got to watch that one. But I've seen all 4. The first one has Jennifer Aniston in it.
Right. Yes, that's sort of she's famous for that first Leprechaun movie. But again, I don't think he thinks it's a movie character. I think he thinks these are actual leprechauns. But see, if I was the wife, I'd be like, "Great, go ask them for their pot of gold because we can't pay our bills this month. We've been in lockdown and you're on furlough."
Yeah, usually people that believe in leprechauns like that don't really have a job. You don't hold down a job.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, I guess if my boyfriend came home and started telling me he believes in leprechauns, I would probably call the nearest hospital and be like, "How many straitjackets you guys have? Send them all."
No, that's a complete lie because if your boyfriend came home and said he believes in leprechauns, as long as he's not cheating on you, you don't care.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
Are you banging a leprechaun? No? Fine.
We're good then.
So he can believe in whatever the hell he wants to believe in as long as he's not sleeping with anybody.
He does like short girls though, so I would be concerned.
Short girls with money.
And fabulous clothing.
All right. Lady Gaga versus Britney.
Yeah, this is crazy. So you were in the music industry for so long, like you worked for Atlantic Records, so you can answer this question.
Uh-huh.
When a major artist has an album dropping, like you're finally waiting for this album from Lady Gaga, you know, and she's finally gonna like it's coming out, this is it. That same day, would you have another major artist from another label dropping an album the same day, or does that water it all down? Like, what's the philosophy behind that?
Yeah, I don't think it even matters anymore because it all just shows up in your iTunes. So you're
Oh,
not physically going out and buying an album. So I don't think it matters the same day that an album comes out. From those two, I don't think anybody's racing out to get the Britney album anyway.
no, it's not
Um,
true. Well, here's the thing. I'm not even talking about like getting the album. I mean, in terms of like stealing somebody else's thunder. You know, like this is my big day. This Lady Gaga has been working on this album for a while. She's been teasing pieces of it. Different singles have been coming out. She just had that one single with Ariana Grande, and she had the one on her own, which did the video where they were like dancing, and it looked like in the movie Dune. You know,
mhm.
so everyone's really excited waiting for this album, and then out of nowhere Britney Spears releases her album the same day. You know, it kind of feels like a diss. It's like you couldn't wait one more day. You couldn't wait till Tuesday when albums like traditionally come out. Like you had to drop it the same day as Lady Gaga. I just feel like that's a bitch move, you know?
No, I don't. In this day and age, I think as soon as you get it done, you put it out. As far as the people are concerned, Britney and Lady Gaga, two totally different people. Because we met with Britney, and then a week later we met with Lady Gaga,
Yeah, we interviewed
and
both of them, right?
the experience was so different
So different.
between one and two. It's like they weren't even the same species.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, one of them we had like a really intense, in-depth, real conversation. The other one we just kind of had fun with. I mean, Britney Spears she was fun. She was fun to talk to, but she didn't have the depth that Lady Gaga did in terms of interviews. She was great. They were both great. Let me just say that. Like we loved both of them. They were both so good. But there was a couple of times when Britney was speaking that we thought maybe her brain was working faster than her mouth and we were waiting for her to catch up. You know what I mean? That's the best way to
Right.
put it. Whereas Lady Gaga, she was just a real person just having a conversation with us. And I wonder if that's because Britney Spears has been famous for so long that she has to think before she speaks all the time because she's worried she's going to step in it. I don't know.
Could be, but Lady Gaga didn't care at all, whatever
Right.
she said.
Yeah.
You
that's
know,
true.
either did Miley. Miley wasn't surrounded by people like Britney was. Britney was four people deep into her entourage when we were talking to her.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Lady Gaga just bounced into the room by herself to the point where we were like, wait, is that Lady Gaga? She just kind of
Right.
showed up like, hey, we were like, where are your people? But she didn't have any. She just kind of walked in the room and sat down with us. Same thing with Miley. Miley, somebody walked in with her and then we're like, you okay, Miley? And she was like, yeah. Oh, I see you later. You know, it was just us. It was so cash. But you're right. Britney Spears had an entourage. She had somebody practically like telling her what to say, like, say hello, Brittany.
Mhm.
Hello, Brittany. No, say hello to these two. Like, whatever. It was just, it seemed like one of them. Yeah, she was definitely more controlled by other people. But again, I think it's because Britney Spears has a conservatorship still. She has her dad controlling everything she says and does.
Mhm.
And she's been famous since she's a little girl. So I think she has to just be more careful.
We'll leave it there. Right. But yeah, I don't think people really care right now when albums come out.
Yeah.
John Cusack was attacked.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Was he sleeping?
He actually wasn't sleeping.
Okay. What'd he do?
John Cusack went down to the protests. You know, he lives in LA. So he
Right.
went down to the protest to show his support because he's all about the Black Lives Matter movement and he's as angry as everybody else is. And I like the celebrities when they come out for these causes. When they actually, it's one thing to like write a check. Like Chrissy Teigen was like, I'm donating $100,000 to help protesters who were arrested. I'm going to, for their bail. And then people made fun of her and she's like, you know what? Doubling it, make it 200,000.
Mhm.
So, which is really great. Like that's super important. And she has kids, so it's not safe for her to go places because she's super famous. And if you're that famous, then the charity or the organization or the protest or the march or whatever it is becomes about you. So